Hiya and welcome to the Redmen TV. I'm Chloe Bloxham. It is the Rumour Rater show. Today's going to be a little bit shorter of an episode, and to be honest, I want your thoughts more than anything on these players that we're going to speak about. We'll first start with an update or two, then we'll get into some of the players who we've been linked with in the past week. Someone asked me on Anthony Gordon a week ago, and nothing had happened on the Wednesday last week, and then all of a sudden Thursday came upon us, Friday came upon us, Saturday came upon us, and it was Gordon heavy. So we will also be talking about Gordon, but enough about what I want and what I think about Anthony Gordon. This can be all about who you want and what you think of Anthony Gordon as well. So do get in the chat and make sure it's as interactive as possible for you. Exploring the world of gaming. See you all the time. Thank you so much for joining. Says, hi Chloe, how are you doing? I am doing great. How are you? It's not sunny today, but it's not cold either. So remember last week when it was like 26 degrees and I was loving life a little bit less so, but still it's not freezing, which is exactly what we need. Hi Chloe, how excited are you for next season? I'm really excited. I'm excited for pre-season as well, which usually I don't care about pre-season, but I'm excited because I want to know a little bit more about the players and where Arne Slot's going to be playing them, what formation we're going to be doing. So I think there's a lot to be excited about this upcoming season, and hopefully we're pretty decent as well. But, you know, we'll find out. Already at it, for the wing, I'd love Gordon and or Bakayoko, Saka was in my head for a second. Bakayoko is obviously a kind of learner to Salah, because Salah's not being displaced here. The good news about that actually is that Wataru Endo and Salah are not going on Olympic duty, so they will be back. Imagine Gordon joining Liverpool, it would be a fairy tale. It would anger some of the Evertonians as well, which bit more of a gift for everyone else. What formation do you think Slot will play? I'm hoping it's the 4-2-3-1. For the main reason of, you know, we've got a new manager. I'd like a little bit of a new system. I'd still like the intensity and the high press that obviously we saw with Jurgen Klopp, but I would like us to be a little bit more controlled, a little bit harder to beat in the midfield, harder to actually score against. I'd like a bit of a solid foundation, but in terms of attacking, I'd like us to, you know, be as boss as we were under Jurgen. But I would like to see a new system, a new formation, because it's just something exciting. I know what the 4-3-3 is all about now. I've been watching it for how long, so I hope that it is a 4-2-3-1. But Slot might come in and just see that he's got the players for the 4-3-3 and he might just play that. Anyway, let's get into the first story. I will get to more of your comments, so just keep chatting. We'll do an update on Calafiori, who over here is in my unlikely section. I moved him down last week because it seemed like he was going to Juve. That was pretty much nailed on. He's now out of the Euros, and here are the updates. The Reds being credited with an interest in signing the defender in recent weeks. Calafiori was recently part of the Italy squad that featured at Euro 2024 before exiting the tournament to the defeat at Switzerland. Calafiori is said to have given Juventus the green light, but Bologna prefer to sell him abroad. The technical director, Giovanni Sartori, is what I'm going to say. We took him 12 months ago, so we'll see what happens in the market, but in our heads, there is the will to keep him. We will try to keep him, but if important offers arrive, we'll have to take them into consideration. I don't think he will go to Juventus, which is a big plus, because that now means I can move him back up here. Because the reason I moved him down last week was because it felt like he was literally on the cusp of signing for Juve. The Bologna technical director, it was kind of said that they didn't want him to go to Juve because of the Thiago Motta situation, but Juve had came in with a price and already talked to Calafiori, and they'd kind of agreed terms. So it seemed like he was going there, but turns out another U-turn has happened. We will try to keep him, but if important offers obviously arrive, we will take them into consideration. He will probably go to a different market other than Juventus. Liverpool obviously has been a reported target in terms of a place he might go, but now there is other Premier League competition, and it is Arsenal, Chelsea, there's also Real Madrid in there, and there's obviously Juventus, which we did mention. I've moved him up. I would love him to play for Liverpool, and I want this to be Liverpool's first signing if possible. Just need to get it over the line if we can. There was rumours of like 42 million for him that Arsenal apparently was going to bid. We've got some competition if Arsenal and Chelsea are going for them, because we know exactly what they can offer. Arsenal seem to have already started talking to him, but I'm pretty sure Liverpool would have done that as well. And hopefully Liverpool can act fast, because it feels like we can now start to see the ball rolling. He's not in the Euros anymore. He will now be focused on his future, and Bologna will want to sell him and get the highest price. So I'm moving him back up to I could see it, because apparently Juve isn't really in the question, especially when Premier League will come in for him. But yeah, what do you think? I would love Calafiori. I think we've already been through this. Arsenal also want him. Yeah, I know, and apparently Arsenal have already bid for him, and it might have been rejected. They want more. But, you know, we'll see what happens. Hopefully Liverpool, if it was between Arsenal and Liverpool, look, Arsenal are a really good side, and they're not in a transition period like Liverpool are, so I could see him going to Arsenal. But I'm just hoping that Liverpool have laid the groundwork, and also that Liverpool can be competitive. I don't care if Arsenal want him. Let's go and put a bid in and see what we can do, and see if we can get his signature instead, because I would hate for him to go to Arsenal. I think he's brilliant. And I really like the fact that, you know, aside from one big injury, he's managed to stay fit. He can play left-sided centre-half. He's left-footed, but he can also do that left-back role, which would help us if we did lose the likes of Costas, or if, you know, Andy Robbo needs a little bit of help there. So, you know, we can see what happens. Someone commented on Anthony Gordon. He will probably be the most hated person in Liverpool. I mean, I'd say more than half of Liverpool supports Liverpool, so I don't think he'd be the most hated, but from an Everton perspective, he'd be one of them. Although the Toffee TV lads said they just don't care. What was the Motta situation? So Thiago Motta was Bologna's manager, and Juventus have just absolutely, apparently, according to reports, they were speaking to Thiago Motta to try and get him to come to Juve a lot sooner than what they should have been. And you're not really allowed to do that. You're not supposed to do that. So he did go to Juventus. He's now the head coach of Juventus. But there was some controversy between Juventus and Bologna for that deal to be happened. So they don't really want to deal and give their best player to Juventus as well. But we'll also say Anthony Gordon would actually be so good because of his versatility. I agree. I would absolutely agree with that. I would really like him. Gordon, a DM and a centre-back, I'd be happy saying. If I could get Gordon, Calafiori, and, you know, a good DM, I'd be made up. Absolutely made up. I'd literally enter the season, I'd be even more excited than I am right now. I think there is two top quality additions in Calafiori and Gordon, both on their day at their highest level, could actually improve our squad as well, improve our first 11, and also they are not just signings for next season, they're signings for the next 10 years, so I would really like that. Gordon's too expensive, need big money signings at DM and centre-back. I would hope Calafiori is about 40 mil apparently, so I don't think that's bad, especially if you're selling Costas and you can get 15 to 20 mil for Costas. I don't think that's a big money signing, but I think it's a big player. As for Gordon, we'll have to see. I feel like we'll get onto it in a minute, but I get what you mean, because the figures that are being put around for Gordon are a bit ridiculous. I wish we were going for Nico Williams, so do I, but sadly he is in my unlikely section because of his wage, and that is really it. And also, James Pearce just completely shut it down anyway. Let's get on to our first player. And we'll start with the outs then, and we'll start with none other than Nat Phillips, and this will be dead simple because I've not actually seen anything rumoured for where he could go or anyone interested in him, but what I can tell you is his contract does expire in 2025. The centre-back who spent the second half of last season on loan at Cardiff is set to depart Liverpool this summer. It doesn't say what clubs are interested. It says the Athletic state that the Reds will be keen to cash in on the 27-year-old who has entered the final year of his contract. Phillips has been at Anfield since 2016 after joining the Reds Academy at the age of 19, and he's been a big player for us. We all remember him and Reece Williams at centre-half, who got us Champions League football. He did a Cruyff turn at AC Milan's San Siro. It was a brilliant moment, but it's time that he does move on, and I think it'll be likely if Liverpool want to make the signings of the likes of Calafiori, you're going to want to try and get as much money as you can for Nat Phillips. He could go on a free next summer, but I think Liverpool would like a little bit of money for him, and I also think he deserves to get his move away. He's done all he can for Liverpool. We can't just keep him there and just loan him out. I think he should go and maybe play in the German league, I think he should go and get to be a number one at somewhere else and play week in, week out, and be able to build on his career at a different club. You don't really want to be on loan somewhere and then have to come back to Liverpool to then make a transfer elsewhere in your last year of your contract. If he leaves now, which I think is what is best for every party here, hopefully Liverpool get some good money and he gets a move that he is happy with. But, you know, all I can say is he played 26 games across the Championship for Cardiff last season, and also before then he also played in those 26 games in the UCL for Celtic, but also the Scottish Premiership. And I think right about now is the time where he just deserves to go and let his career flourish somewhere else, and not be absolutely tied to Liverpool. Do you remember that season where we just kept recalling him? That was a wonderful time. We recalled him for him to come and beat Everton and then sent him back out. Wonderful. What a moment. Thanks, Nat Phillips. But I feel like now is probably best we part ways so that he can go and improve his career. He's in his peak years. He's only 27. He's still got loads of football to play. And Liverpool get a little bit of money for him. I don't think it'll be a lot, but it'll be something. And something always helps for reinvesting that money. He's a centre-back. He'll never be number one wherever he goes. I reckon he'd be a number one in the German league, in the Championship. Why would he not be a number one centre-half? I reckon he could go... Did he play for Stuttgart, was it? I reckon he'd be fine in the likes of the German league. We know he's not Premier League top half level. But, you know, I don't think like a... I was going to say Bournemouth, but Bournemouth are actually really, really good on the ball. I like Everton would absolutely love him if they didn't have Branthwaite. Who knows if they sell him? Maybe that's what happens. Nat Phillips goes to Everton, we get Gordon, and everyone's annoyed at everything. I reckon he could be a centre half for someone and play week in, week out. Doesn't mean it's at the top level, but he can still go into it in the lower half of the Bundesliga. He's just an absolute warrior in terms of being a centre-half. He'll run through brick walls for you. He'll put his, you know, I'd say life on the line, but we use that in a term of like he'll just block absolutely everything. He'll header any ball that is in the vicinity of him, no matter if he gets clattered or not. So I don't think I'm going to be that mean for Nat Phillips. I think he's fine. That Clavan turn over the Cruyff turn. Clavan, what a lovely man. He did the... Was it when at Liverpool we held, I can't even think of what it's called anymore, that singing Eurovision. He did the Estonia's like reveal of who gets the most points. That was a good moment, saw him again. Anyway, let's move on to the main topic, and that is Anthony Gordon. I don't know where to put him here because I'm stuck on two places, so I'll give you the option. Could you see Anthony Gordon come to Liverpool, or do you think it's unlikely? I believe I'd love Anthony Gordon to come to Liverpool. I think he's a good player. I was reminded the other day that he's only had one really good season, but I feel like doing that at Newcastle when they were literally up in flames with injuries and were struggling last season, I think that's a really, really good season. What I would say is the only thing that I think will put us off buying him is the fact that he will be upwards of 80 million, I'd say. And on top of that, Newcastle are now sorted for PSR. They don't need to worry. Maybe they need to worry in the next season if they want to buy someone. They might just be what they've done this season. They might just be kicking that down the road to then reassess next season, and maybe they have to sell someone next season. But for now, they don't have to sell a big player, and it's likely that they're going to try and sell someone like Callum Wilson or someone like that who would get them some money but is less cheap if they needed. That is the only thing I am stuck on. I will put him in unlikely, just for the main reason of I don't think Liverpool will be bullied here, and I think Newcastle have tried to hold strong. Saying that, they gave the lad an out and put him up for sale, and then didn't sell him. If he's not happy, I think Gordon would have to push a move for Liverpool to really be interested in him. It's clear that we liked him. It's clear that much. There was absolutely no way we offered Quanta for him. There was just no way in this world. And I do have a price limit of what I'd spend on Gordon. I would love him to sign for Liverpool. And I actually think this deal might rely on Luis Diaz leaving. And I've got Luis Diaz in unlikely to leave right now. So if Luis Diaz looks like he could be leaving the football club, then I think that also affects this, and that could move them higher up. And I could potentially see Anthony Gordon coming to Liverpool. But for right now, based on the fact that Liverpool will not get bullied here, I don't know whether we will sign him. We'll look at the Luke Edwards stuff. I don't think his name was Luke Edwards. It might have been Luke Edwards. We'll get into the kind of Newcastle side of what came out over the weekend, and that was Anthony Gordon was denied his dream move to his boyhood club after obviously Liverpool failed to match Newcastle United's asking price. Telegraph Sport understands that Gordon has been extremely keen and on the move, and his head has been turned. At one stage, the England international, who has only played 1 minute at the European Championship so far, thought he would be signing for Liverpool, but after conversations between the two clubs, a bid did not materialise. But you know, apparently it has destabilised Anthony Gordon. Apparently, you know, he wants to leave now. But what I will say is, it is absolutely mad what's coming out of Newcastle, because everyone reported that they'd offered us him. Then everyone is now apparently on the Newcastle side turned around and said actually Liverpool came in for him instead. Newcastle don't need to sell him anymore. But if his head is turned, then Newcastle have a problem, because Luke Edwards then put out a tweet, and this is just a bit random. How about a swap deal for Diaz plus Gordon plus a fee? I don't think we'll do that, but if that was a potential option, I wouldn't hate it. I wouldn't like it. I don't want Diaz to go and play against us. I love Diaz. I just would like Gordon. I wouldn't like Diaz to play against us. That is my only thing. But, you know, you can't have it all your own way. But Luke Edwards, then after putting this report out, said, and I can bring this up, I can get why Gordon's head is a mess. It's his boyhood club. 2 options, knuckle down when he comes to Newcastle, maybe with a denial of wanting to leave. What? This lad, you put him up for sale? This is what I don't understand. It's like they're trying to blame Gordon for this entire saga, when actually Newcastle were just in trouble with PSR and put him up for sale. That is not Anthony Gordon's fault. It's not the fault that you offered him to his boyhood club. He doesn't have to come out and deny that he wanted to go to Liverpool. You made the offer there for Liverpool to be able to come and approach him. You offered him to us. I think it's absolutely mad how, like, it just feels like they're trying to turn on the player and say it's all his own doing. And if he does leave us to go to Liverpool, well, you can all hate him because he caused it, when in actual fact it was Newcastle who called it. Someone said 80 mil is your max. I would be more like 70 mil is my max, and I don't think we'd get him for that. But I'd sincerely hope that Gordon would push to leave Newcastle and basically just say to them, you wanted me out. Don't expect me to want to be here if you've put me up for sale. That is what I would say to them. Maybe that's what he needs to do. 40 mil plus Kelleher, I would be more than happy with that. Mad how like that, there was a little report of us potentially having Kelleher in the deal when that Quanta was completely shut down from a Liverpool side. There was a little mention of Kelleher, and that is a deal I would 100% do if we could, for 40 million plus Kelleher. Love Kelleher as well, by the way. But, you know, that's what we go with. Arsenal is bidding 48 million for Calafiori. Yeah, that's euros, which I think means 42 million, obviously, pounds. But yeah, I think it's a non-brainer that I think Liverpool should be in there for that amount of money. But we'll have to see what Arsenal do. Maybe Arsenal are just the ones to set the ball rolling. Hopefully they don't end up with him. And hopefully they're doing everyone else a favour who wants him, because we're going to have to act fast now if we do want him. And hopefully Liverpool can do that. Nino said we don't need Gordon. Why do you feel that? Are you happy with Diaz? Is that the reason? We'll have a look anyway. Luke Edwards then said it's either he comes out and says he doesn't want to leave, which would not be true, or he behaves badly, so is his relationship with the fans, and tries to force a move. It's mad. He then goes on to say he hasn't burnt any bridges. Newcastle want him to stay and will show him lots of love when he gets back for pre-season. The fans will do the same. It's up to him now. But trying to force your way out of a second club in the space of 18 months isn't going to win him friends. I don't know whether you've realised, Luke. They offered him up for sale to Liverpool, his boyhood club. What do you expect? If I was offered to Liverpool Football Club and to play for them, I don't care who I was playing for in the world, I would want that move, especially if you've put me up for sale. Like, Isaac was a name that was thrown up in the mix to go to Chelsea, and instantly Newcastle shot that down. And they probably should have done that with Gordon. They probably shouldn't have offered Gordon at all to Liverpool. What did you expect was going to happen when you did that? So I think this is all a bit weird, that we're all just trying to play the blame game from a Newcastle point of view and trying to blame it on this lad. They're basically saying Anthony Gordon should come back. He should deny that he wanted to go, even though he does, because it's his boyhood club. And actually, he should apologise to us for us putting him up for sale and him then wanting to leave. It's mind-boggling what they're doing over there. And I don't get why you'd release this, because he's not left right now. And even if he does want to go, Liverpool would have to make an appropriate bid. And I don't see that happening right now. Therefore, just let the lad go and play his Euros, let him come back and see what he does. He might just knuckle down and get on with pre-season. You don't have to mention that he's got two options and these are the two options that he do. It feels like they're blaming Anthony Gordon when it feels like he's done nothing wrong. And I used to hate Anthony Gordon because he played for Everton. And I despised him a little bit when he played against Liverpool for Newcastle. But I don't think Anthony Gordon's done anything wrong. Oh, here we go. I don't want Diaz or Gordon. Gakpo is better and we need a right winger. Fair enough. Gakpo's been doing great for the Netherlands. If we could have the Netherlands version of Gakpo, would love that. He's been brilliant. Can we speak about how good Gakpo's been? Yeah, I've loved it. It's mad, isn't it? Because we've played him just about everywhere and it feels like we could never nail down where he needs to be. It felt like he was all right at left wing for us, but wasn't brilliant. Towards the end of the season, he was obviously one of our better players, I would say. But for the Netherlands, he's completely destroying the Euros. His goal, I always go back to his first goal against United in that 7-0, and he cut in from that right-hand side. His chip, by the way, in that game as well, which was the Cop end, he makes a run to the right-hand side of the box. It's such a delicate finish, but they're both, you know, movements of cutting across the box. And hopefully he can do that for Liverpool, and hopefully he can come back to pre-season and play unbelievable. Also, we've got a new manager and he's Dutch. I don't think there's a consequence What's going on? I don't think there's, you know, a kind of argument to assume why he's improved. Like, he's got to impress someone, and it's a Dutch companion. He will believe that he's got a right go at being in Arne Slot's first 11, and I think he's just raised his level a bit, and I think he's saying, I hope you're watching, because this is what I can do, and I absolutely love it. My prediction is none of these people on the board will join LFC. It's going to be a player we haven't heard about. Do you think only one player is going to come through? I'm hoping that would not be the case. I'd want maybe 2 or 3 signings. I definitely think we need a centre-back, hopefully centre-half/left-back, so we can kind of resolve that issue. I'd love an out-and-out brilliant DM. I don't know whether there's one on the market who can compete with the likes of Rodri and Declan Rice. I just don't think there is that. And I would love an attacking player who can play across the front three, specifically right wing. But if I'm signing Anthony Gordon, can I keep Diaz and just put him on the right wing as well? I'm just living in a made-up world here where I can have every single player still playing for Liverpool. But I do agree, there probably will be a player who we've not heard of, who Liverpool sign, and hopefully they're incredible. We didn't hear about Wataru Endo and all of a sudden we'd signed him. So there will be names about. It's just Liverpool are just waiting for the Euros and the Copa America to finish, and then things can start happening. There's a reason why in the last couple of days since Italy went out, there's reports that Arsenal have already bid and are already trying to get in touch with Bologna for Calafiori. It's because the Euros is out the way now, so they can go and do that. So yeah, we'll have a look. Newcastle have no reason to sell Gordon for less than 100 mil. Their PSR issue is over. It's over now. But if they start to sign players, which they're going to want to do this season, that PSR thing might come back next season. Like, they might be in the same boat next season, next summer. So just bear that in mind, because they've just, like, the debt that they were in, they've managed to build that back up. So they might be on a playing field now. If they start to spend and bring more players in, that then goes all the way back down, and they need to get that money back in next summer before, obviously, the date comes in for PSR. So who knows, they might want to get ahead of that. I don't think they will. Someone said, I like your shirt, thank you. Cody Gakpo, you know, the man of the moment right now. Yeah, I love this shirt. What is it? It's not Gucci, is it? Is it Gucci? What's this brand like a rip-off of? I mean, it's clearly Cody Gakpo. It's a C and a G. I'm not really good with me expensive brands. I'm just a person who wears some Nike or Adidas gear or something like that. Anyway, or North Face, Under Armour, those types of stuff. Newcastle are gambling on making Champions League again. Does anyone think they'll get top 4? I don't see that happening personally. But, you know, we'll see. Let's see. Chloe, who do you think we will sign? Because FSG won't spend the money needed to do anything this season. We miss out on top players being of them. I disagree, Robbie. I'm not FSG's favourite. Like, I'm stuck in the middle. I can see the pros of them. And I like that we're not in a situation that the likes of Newcastle are in. But I also would love Liverpool to spend more. Of course I would. I think they put 110 million down on the table for Casado last season. If there's a player, if there's an opportunity this season to bring in a player who they think is world class and is, you know, ticking all the stats of Michael Edwards, Richard Hughes, Arne Slot, I think Liverpool will do it. I think so let's use the DM situation. If there's not an unbelievable DM, and it's not that much of an upgrade on Wataru Endo, I don't think Liverpool will go and spend 40 million on a player. I just don't think they will. But say there was, you know, a new Salah in the making, or we'd spotted him, or there was that world-class DM that we could go and buy, or a world-class centre-half who we could go and buy, I think Liverpool would be willing to spend 60, 70 mil on a player if they were that good. But I do get what you mean. We've had times where we've not spent loads of money, but you've also had times where Liverpool have spent 75 million on Virgil van Dijk. They've spent 70 million on Alisson Becker. You know, they spent 70 million on Sobbo last season. They put 110 million on the table for Casado. So I think we should just see how it goes. If at the end of the summer we've not improved and we've not spent enough, I'll be the first to say FSG should have done more here. But I'd like to give them right now the benefit of the doubt and hope that, due to the fact that they put 110 million on the table for Casado, if there was, you know, 110 million spent across 2 players and it was Calafiori and another player who was good, maybe a right winger, I'd be fine with that. As long as the quality coming in is really good and the players that I can see, you know, playing for Liverpool's first team, then I'm happy with it. I don't care how much they spend, as long as the player's good enough. If they've been able to get the next Mo Salah for only 30 million and you instantly see how good of a player he is, I don't care how little or how much they've spent on him, as long as he's boss. Do I think Liverpool should be competing for the likes of Calafiori? Yeah, and I hope they do. But if he's not actually one of their targets, which I think he is and he's being listed as, then that's, you know, hopefully we can get a better version of Calafiori. But I'll let them, you know, give them another 3-4 weeks and let's see where we are then. Like I said, I'm not the biggest lovers of FSG, but I do like the way we work at times. Do I think we could spend more and wish we could spend more? Absolutely. But we're not in trouble with anything in terms of PSR or spending too much. So there are 2 sides to it. 120 mil on Musiala. Now, if they could do that, please do so. I'm a massive fan of Musiala. Hi Chloe, what do you think of the signing of Olivia Smith to Liverpool FC Women? Love it. Mad that little of money is like Liverpool's. I think it was like 210,000. Like that's a club record fee for a player on the women's side. It's just absolutely mad. Like, Nico Williams at the age of 21 is on that a week, and yet that's what we're doing to bring a player in. But I think she's boss. I saw a couple of interviews of her. She seems lovely. She's got a decent taste in music and things like that. So I think she'll be a boss signing for Liverpool, and hopefully that will be shown and proven start of the season. Let's see what we can do. It's just the same that Cold Palmer, Jesus Christ, is a Man United supporter. If I was Liverpool, I'd go head over heels for him every year until he signs. He's on a lot of money probably over at Chelsea, that's what I would say. Calafiori going, deal agreed, Arsenal another one done. Just give it time. I don't think we should believe everything right now. It is believed that Bologna rejected an offer and that Arsenal are going to come back in. But just, unless this has just happened in the last 10 minutes when I've been live, that's not the last thing I saw on Calafiori. If there has been, someone let me know and I'll go and see if Fabrizio Romano tweet. But just give it time. Hopefully Liverpool, there's still 2 months of this stuff left. Hopefully Liverpool will start to get the signings in. Yeah, this is a very good point. Whenever I get frustrated by FSG, I think of two names, Hicks and Gillette. Yeah, it's really good that. It goes to show how much worse it could be. Yeah, it could be better. Yeah, we could be signing well more people and we could, you know, you could be Chelsea and you could put people on 9-year deals. That's not healthy. 8-year contracts, not healthy. Putting players on 200k. Virgil van Dijk's on just over 200k and he's the best centre-half in the world. Like, if he was playing for City or Chelsea, he'd be on 350 to 400k. And somehow we're doing it right where, you know, he's going into maybe his final contract at Liverpool. If we offer him a new one, maybe if we give him 3 more years, that'd be the most money he'd earn for Liverpool. And it wouldn't be, you know, he wouldn't have like 6 years left to play or more. Liverpool have done it well in the way that they pay players. Obviously, I'd love to sign Nico Williams and he's on 200k and that feels like it would break everything. You'd have to offer Virgil 300k, 350k. But I don't love the FSG model, but I also don't hate it. We could be much worse off. We could be better as well. Let's see what happens. Let's give them time this summer because I'm pretty sure once Arne Slot assesses what he's got, there will be signings and hopefully there is some signings because Liverpool won't win a league with the team that they've got right now. I think we can all probably agree to that. We are not on the level of City of Arsenal. We've shown that last season. However, if we change our tactics a little bit and become a bit more solid defensively, maybe only 2 signings here or there might actually make Liverpool title contenders. I'm happy with our business. There's no point rushing into things. Those that want to come will come now, no matter the wait. Exactly that. And also, do bear in mind, Copa America, you've got the Euros going on. Players are now only just going on holiday because of the internationals. So just give it time. I know, I hate these. I don't know whether you can tell. I hate rumours. Cannot stand them. That's why I've been given this kind of show, because I just hate them. And I'll tell you exactly how I feel on players and whether I believe it. But just give Liverpool some time. Give the players some time to choose where they want to go. And hopefully, you know, once the Euros starts to dwindle down, once Copa America, I think that's already in the quarters or something now. Once that all goes and everyone's off on holiday and coming back, Liverpool can then get things over the line. You don't want to sign a player and then him get injured and you not be able to use him. That would be the only thing for me. Before we do carry on, let's just talk about Pierce and Gordon. You get in. Can we do a poll? Is it a poll? Aaron, we can do a poll. Put in it, should Liverpool sign Gordon, yes or no? Get in what you think, because that's where we'll start to end this show. First of all, I'll just give you what Pierce said. It emerged over the weekend that with Newcastle keen to raise funds, I can't show you this, it's on The Athletic, Liverpool have turned down a proposal to buy winger Anthony Gordon that could have involved Jarell Quansah moving to St James's Park. Senior Anfield figures didn't believe it was worth of consideration. Liverpool admire Gordon, but they already have strength and depth on that left-hand side and felt Newcastle's evaluation of the England international was excessive, which it probably will be. With Quansah's stock so high after an impressive breakthrough campaign, there's no chance of Liverpool sanctioning the departure, and I agree with that. I was so happy to see us interested in Anthony Gordon, and then I saw Jarell Quansah, and it was very quickly me saying absolutely not, that's not possible. So yes, this is the thing. So Newcastle have crapped themselves because they've offered Anthony Gordon his dream move. They've offered him to his boyhood club because they were in trouble with PSR. They've seen that Liverpool have interested. Gordon's then wanting the move. Liverpool would like him, but will not be bullied into paying an excessive fee. Gordon's head's now a mess and really wants to move because he thought he was moving to Liverpool. And then all of a sudden, Newcastle are trying to stop the damage limitation and offer him a new deal at higher wages, you'd assume, to make sure that they ensure to Anthony Gordon that they love him, that they still want him, that he's part of their main plans. So, you know, do with that what you will. That's not a surprise. Without a doubt, similar to Diaz, but better finisher. Yeah, he's got better end product. He got 10 goals and 11 assists, scored against all the top 6 last season. That is one thing that he's much better at Diaz. Diaz is brilliant, but I would like him to do more with his end product and when he gets to the box and when he gets to those important areas. Someone's just said better options. What options? Give me some options. I'm Sam, what you thinking that? Kudus is brilliant, yeah. I think he's boss, but my only problem with Mohamed Kudus is I'd have to let him go to AFCON, and I can't keep doing that. My entire mental strength disappears when it gets to January and the likes of Salah has got off. Such important players to us, and they just get off in the middle of a season. You could be going for the title and your best players are just getting off to go and play elsewhere. It does my head in, especially when Salah did get injured, and that really didn't help us for the rest of the season as well. It was such a pivotal time. We did do fine without Salah, but obviously he didn't come back to his best, and he also then got re-injured after he came back for Brentford. So not for me. I want to give Gakpo his run on the left wing. Money could be spent on a Kudus for the right. I don't think you're getting Kudus, and I think he's probably going to cost you around the same as Gordon. That's what I will say. Gordon, I'd like to see what Gordon does from the right. I'm not saying I'd like to see him there, but you know, he can play along the front three. We've seen that he is better off the left. I would agree. I would like to see what Cody Gakpo does, but I think Gordon might be an opportunistic signing. What we've all got to take into consideration is Luis Diaz could leave Liverpool. Who knows? Right now, I don't see it, but it could happen. 75% of yous here are saying that Liverpool should sign Gordon. At least we all agree. We all agree on that. I would love to sign Gordon. 85 mil, exactly. That is a lot, especially when every so often you don't have him for a month here or there. But he is a phenomenal player, I will say that. Anyway, thank you so much for joining me. I've really loved this. Have a boss rest of your day. Have a boss week as well. We're one more week closer to the footy coming back and to Liverpool signing players, which is really important as well. But thanks so much for joining. Hope you have enjoyed it. And until the next one, up the Reds.